Hey, hi guys, I'm Jitendra Vaswani and we are here at Nomad Summit, Chiang Mai, Thailand. And I met this guy, very cool guy, and he looks like a rock star, right? The Rock. Okay, so he's Alex Salinsky and he's a guy who's running his tech and startup business. And so he's going to share his life, like how he's running his business online. So Alex, so please share your stuff. Like, what are you doing right now, man?
Yeah, absolutely. So we just started the Tech and Startups Conference Series. The first
Perfect.
one was December 2nd, and that was about being in leadership of technology teams.
Perfect.
And the one coming up is about marketing.
Of
What
course.
do tech leaders need to understand about marketing? Because
Yes.
what happens is we've got people who are really strong in technology.
Right.
They might be freelancers. They might
Right.
be senior architects.
Right.
They might be managing directors of engineers.
Right.
But there's always that next level. And
Of-
it's a whole new skill set, next level of leadership, of management, of looking out into the world. And so Tech and Startups is about giving what the tech leaders who want to grow, who know they need to grow, giving them what they need to get to the next level. So if I'm a VP of engineering, I'm eyeing that CTO role, Tech
Right.
and Startups has what you need for that.
So you are running a remote conference
It's a remote
in March. So can you share about that? with
Yeah,
my
so
readers?
the remote conference in March is about what tech leaders need to understand about marketing and sales.
Right.
So it's this area that we all know we need to know.
Right.
But it's scary, it's weird, and we all get frustrated with those sales guys who
Right.
have committed us to work that we
Yes.
don't want to be
Don't
doing.
want-
And
yes, I
so
know.
all of us have been frustrated with the sales guy, but now we got to start with the saleswoman, and now we have to start understanding the salesperson's mindset and why they did that thing that we hated so much when it happened.
I know. So what kind of like the clients you have right now under your belt? So can you share about your clients' details, please?
Sure. So a great example of a client is a CEO who's growing his business. All of a sudden,
Right.
he's getting new clients in.
Really?
He's
That's
getting
pretty
new,
good.
and he's got to hire new people. He's got to grow his team. So he's used to mostly doing things in his head. He's got all the structure, all the processes, but now there's too much to keep in your head, right?
Right.
So what
True.
processes are we going to bring in to
Right.
make sure the communication is there, to make sure the right work is getting done, to make sure we're managing the team members appropriately? What are those processes that we're going to bring in to do that better, faster?
Right.
Because what happens is
Right.
you're used to having 3 or 4 balls in the air, which is an amazing juggling job, but now you've got 9.
So it's like tough job for you to handle all the balls, right?
Exactly.
Right. So why did you attend the Nomad Summit? Like, what was the number one reason you are here right now?
So we're at the Nomad Summit in Thailand. I've
Chiang
been to
Mai.
Chiang Mai, Thailand. I've been to 2
And that's
before.
my beer.
You actually have? Do you have Thai right here? On
Yeah,
your
that's
cup?
it. So that's
Thai language?
That's a Thai language. Starbucks. I'm a Starbucks lover. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Is it good?
Is it good? Of course.
I just learned the
cappuccino.
word for good. If you want to say it's really good, it's di mai.
Di mak mak.
Di mak.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm learning Thai slowly. Yeah. It's pretty nice feeling here.
So
Okay.
it's been great. I come here to find people just like you, to find people who are hustling and trying to help people out.
Yes, perfect. So you're just here to meet all these kind of digital nomads, like who are running different kind of businesses online,
That's right,
like
yeah.
in Chiang Mai. So this is your first time in Chiang Mai.
This is my second time in Chiang Mai.
So how's the experience in Chiang Mai? Like, are you meeting a lot of digital nomads?
You know, there's an amazing community of people
Right.
here.
Yes,
Amazing.
True. Have you been to Bangkok?
I have.
It's also a lot of digital nomads there. Like
That's
you will
an
find
international
like,
city there.
That's an international city. So
Yeah.
you will find a lot of like crazy marketers there, like who are doing very stunning job with their businesses. Like, to be very honest. Alex, and how did you got into this business, tech and startup? So can you share your journey? Like, how long you have been doing this?
Yeah, so I've been in Silicon Valley for almost 10 years doing that
Silicon
work.
Valley.
And so we're working with teams there, with the great thinkers there, design thinking, agile, all these things, right?
Pretty nice.
And we're working with international teams. So I'm working with people from India, from the Philippines, from Ukraine, from
Right.
Colombia,
Right.
right? And so I've been doing that in companies big and small for about 10 years, and realized that I also come from Teach for America. So I taught in middle school for 3 years.
Pretty nice.
And since then, I realized I am a technologist with the heart of a teacher. And so that brings it all together.
Okay, so how big is your team right now? If I can ask you this question.
hmm So my team is elastic, and that's the number one thing that I
Okay.
help my people work with, is get elastic teams, elastic human
Okay.
resources. So I have at any given time probably 1 or 2 virtual assistants.
Right.
So I have an assistant. And then when I need more help, I go get it. So I have a network of people who I
Network.
trust and I care about. There are organizations of developers in India and in
Right.
Colombia. I have a social
Right.
media manager, a project
Right.
manager.
Perfect.
So these are people I pull in as necessary, as needed by my clients.
Okay.
And then they're happy to live their lives without me when my clients aren't available to them. And
Yes.
so it's an elastic team, and that's another thing that we want growing technology leaders to understand is you can access elasticity.
Yeah, it's very important to be very honest. So I want to ask you this question, like what kind of conferences you usually attend? Like it's more related to digital nomading thing, or it's more related to startups, CTOs thing, right?
It's such an interesting question. I spent a month in Colombia only going to technology conferences,
Okay.
and I volunteered even at
Really?
the ILA 19 conference in Medellin, Colombia, the biggest user experience conference in Latin America.
Right.
So I'm usually looking at techie conferences because that's my thing.
So that's your, did you attend CES in Vegas?
I haven't been to CES yet. I was just at the Lean Startup Conference in San
Okay.
Francisco.
Okay, because I wanted to attend CES, but I missed it because I have some these events in Bangkok.
Yeah.
I missed that event because I'm going to US like next week for attending some kind of affiliate conferences, because that's my stuff, like where I'm focusing right now. So Alex, here is my next question. What are your 2 favorite books that change your mindset, man?
I'm so glad you asked.
Sure.
So around the end of 2019,
Right.
no, 2018. This is yeah.
Okay.
I started traveling. I started letting go of having a full-time job.
Do you have a family now?
I
If
don't.
I can ask you. Okay, so you're single, so you can travel, right?
Sure.
That's pretty nice.
Sure. So, but I was afraid to.
Okay.
I was definitely afraid to. I always felt like I had to stick to the security of the career, the
Right,
insurance, the
right.
salary, the promotion, all of that.
It happens, yeah.
Exactly. And I was in this job that just wasn't the right job for me. And I even had thoughts in my mind like, what if I have to leave this job for some reason? And it gave me anxiety. It worried me. I had 1 or 2 nights where I didn't sleep well. I read 2 books
Right.
that back to back almost that were fantastic for me.
Right.
And what's interesting, I would say, if you're going to choose which one to go first, one is very much for men, and one is kind of for women. I
Okay.
benefited from both. So
Okay.
the first one for men is called No More Mr. Nice Guy.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
No More
Okay.
Mr. Nice Guy. And it goes into, it has something like 46 activities throughout the
46.
book to
Wow.
try. It's mostly actually about relationships.
Okay.
But work is relationships.
Of course.
Right?
True.
So it's about the fear that we have. It's about a need to please.
Right.
We often have a need to please. It's about getting
Right.
out of that need to please and be really, really real about who you are.
Right.
Number one thing from that book for me was we ask ourselves these questions. There's a little bug flying around. We ask
Okay.
ourselves these questions. What if this bad thing happens? What if I
Right.
do this and this bad thing happens to me? Well, the answer to that is
We get negative sometime,
we
right?
get real negative.
Yes.
And there's an
true.
answer to that question. What if bad thing? And the answer is, I will handle it.
I will handle it.
I will
And
handle
second
it.
book?
The second book is, What If You're Doing It Right? It's
What If?
by Robin Brand.
Okay.
I've never heard of it before. It somehow ended up on my desk at work.
Okay.
I read it. It's something like a 30-something day guide. You can read it, but you can read it all at once. You can read it day by day, and it's questions like that. What if you're doing it right? What if it's positive? What
Right.
if this thing is great? What if you can do what you're meant to do? What if you can do what makes you happy?
Right.
What if the way your body is fine?
Right.
So every chapter is a question like that. What if
Right.
what if actually everything's good in a way?
Right.
And it goes through a scenario. Many of the scenarios are a woman's scenario. So there's things about
Right.
dress sizes, things like that.
Right.
So that's a great place for women to start, but I found value in both of those books, and they helped me get around this negative mindset.
A
that I
negative
have.
mindset.
Mhm.
Because sometimes, like doing business, we sometimes get so negative, like some things are not working according to our needs.
Mhm.
It's like that. And Alex, I want to ask you one more, like a very detailed and personal question. How do you deal with depression and loneliness in
Yeah.
entrepreneurship? Because a lot of people are not talking. I know a lot of digital nomads here, they are going through all these things.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that thing? Like,
So I don't know. Depression to me is like a clinical word, so I
Right.
don't know much about that. But certainly the loneliness and the community building, because we all
Right.
have a need for
Right.
a community.
Right.
And I do move around a bit. So one thing is I want to stay in one place for a long period of time,
Right.
a month or more. That's important to me. I want to leave my house. But
okay.
more than that, so one is the obvious. There are already Facebook groups of
Right.
people doing things in communities. I can look up digital nomad Facebook groups.
Right.
Another thing that I love to do is I work. A lot of these people who travel, they're not. They're backpacking. They're touring with others. They have their friends. But I
Right.
work. So
Right.
I set up co-working sessions.
Okay.
I make Facebook events. I meet people. I go to events. I meet people. I invite people to work with me, to come to a
Right.
cafe or come to a space. Bring your laptop. Know what you want to work on.
Right.
We'll work for 45 minutes and we'll hang out for another 15. And we'll work for 45 minutes and we'll chit
Then
chat
you
for
like,
15.
oh, that's
And now
amazing.
you have a community of accountability. So you have friends, you're going to have lunch with them, you're going to take walks with these people, you're going to talk about events, but you have accountability. You have people who know what you're doing and you care about what they're doing.
Oh.
That's been amazing, and so amazing that it's inspired me in the masterminding community that I run
Right.
for tech leaders. I include virtual co-working. So
Right.
you can do it in person and you can do it virtually over a Zoom call.
That's pretty nice. Like you have a community of these kind of like entrepreneurs who have a right mindset,
That's right.
who really want to support each other and grow.
Hmm.
Like it's very important because I've seen it. Like a lot of digital nomads, they don't have a community. They are being so alone. They get addicted to alcohol or drugs, something like these kind of shit. Luckily, I didn't got addicted to any of. So you can
Yeah.
see like I'm drinking coffee right now. So like that's. So that's the
Yeah.
kind of stuff I'm doing. I'm not addicted to all this kind of like drugs or doing alcohol. Like
Yeah.
it's up to your choice. Like you really want to do it. It's your personal opinion. Like, but my opinion is it's not healthy. Like it's not healthy.
Sure,
Right
and
now.
and I think you have to have the intention of connection.
Right.
And it has to be on those off days, right?
Right.
Because there's always something to do on Saturday night.
Right.
But Tuesday morning through like Thursday night, you got to have intention. If you're, traveling sounds so glamorous, and you think
Right.
about this thing you're going to do, and this
Nice.
party you're going to go to, and this temple you're going to see, but when you're by yourself, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you realize that that's the real life, and so that's when your intention has to take place.
Attention
You have to
has
figure
to
out where
be-
your community is going to be.
Right. Right. Totally true, Alex. Thanks, man.